Welcome everyone to the next lecture of Osha online training. Today our topic is excavations in safety. What's excavation? We will discuss different types of excavations, some hazards associated with excavations, and some precautions associated with it. So today lecture outlines are: first, what is excavation? Second, excavation hazards. Then we will look into different types of excavation such as trench, batching, sloping, and shoring. These are really important concepts and are 100% required in excavation work. Then we will look for some site evaluation planning. Before excavation, we have to have some site evaluation planning. Then we will start excavation. So first, the question is, what is excavation? So excavation is a man-made cut, activity, trench or depression developed by the removal of earth. Excavation is a man-made cut. It can be a trench, it can be a cavity or depression, and it is developed through the removal of earth. It can be made by a man or by a machinery. In most cases, it's done by machinery, and the machinery has been operated by the man, so that's why I am saying that a man-made activity. In the picture, you can see that this is an excavation. Later, we will see that it is a type of trench excavation. But first, you have to understand that this is an excavation in the safety. Permit to work or PTW is required for an excavation which is more than 1.2 meter depth. When the depth of the excavation is more than 1.2 meter, in that case a permit to work or PTW is required. Who issued the PTW? It is been issued by the safety officer. Now what is permit to work? So we will see this concept in the IOSH course. Permit to work is a really important concept, and when a worker start a work, so before it, a safety officer issue a PTW or permit to work. There are some of the hazards which are associated with excavation. Cave-ins or cavities are the greatest risk in the work area because a worker may fall down in it, someone may stuck in it, it may result in deaths or fatalities or injuries. Cavities or trench is a great risk. Asphyxiation because of lack of oxygen. When a worker is working in the excavation, in that case, asphyxiation may occur. Asphyxiation means that he may not be able to breathe. So in that case, it is because of the reason of the lack of oxygen. When we do excavation, there are some areas under the excavation where oxygen is not enough and a man cannot get breath. So in that case, asphyxiation may occur. Toxic materials inhalation, there may be some toxic materials which may come out while excavation. So in that case, it may be inhaled by the worker. Fire may be produced. How? Because there may be certain chemical reactions and some material may get together and a fire may produce. And it is really common while doing an excavation. Moving machinery near the edge of excavation area can lead to collapse. If some machinery is working near the excavation, so an excavation may break because the sides of the excavation is not that much strong and it may basically fall down. And if suppose the worker is working under the excavation and the machinery is working outside the excavation area, and if let's suppose the machinery is traveling at the edges of the excavation and the edges of the excavation breaks, so in that case all of the soil may fall down on the worker and a worker may dead or get injured. We have to see different types of excavations and then we will see some of the solutions for it. Other excavation hazards are oxygen deficiencies, as we have discussed. Toxic fumes may come out. Water accumulation, there may be water accumulation, and if the worker is working, so it's dangerous for him if he is working in the accumulated water. Access and egress problem is really common because excavation is not a normal pathway, so in that case, access to it or entry to it may be difficult. How a worker may get down to it and work in it, and egress may also be a difficult task. How? If the worker is working in the excavation, so how he will come out from it, because it's an excavation and there is no way or steps or ladders created in order to egress or come out from the excavation area. Although we will have a solution for it which is called benching. We will discuss it in the upcoming slides. Mobile equipment or devices. If some of the devices or some of the machinery is working near the excavation, so it's really dangerous because it may hurt the worker, it may break the edges of the excavation. So ultimately, it's dangerous for the worker working under the excavation. Fall in the excavation. Some of the workers may fall under the excavation if they are moving at the edges of the excavation. An edge may break down, so they may fall under it, or they may unintentionally be slipped down into it. So all of them are the hazards. Now some of the types of excavation are the following. One type of excavation is called trench. What is trench? It is an excavation basically. It is a narrow excavation. The depth is greater than the width. Trench is basically nothing but it is an excavation. The length of the excavation is more than the width of the excavation. It is narrow and the length is higher than the width. So when the length of the excavation is greater than the width of the excavation, so in that case it is called a trench. In the upcoming slides, we will see what is trench in real picture, but its width should not be more than 15 feet. The second type of excavation is called benching. The excavation sides in which the excavation in which the sides has been made down into steps for a particular purpose is called benching. It is a type of excavation in which a steps has been made which move down in the excavation. How? Let's see in the slides. As you can see that this is a trench and this is a benching. How it is trench? You can see that the length is more than the width. This is really a long excavation and the length is really more than the width of the excavation. So when the length is more than the width, it's called trench. And here this is also an excavation, but it is made step downward. You can see the steps here. These steps, it will be easy for the egress and coming into the excavation. Worker will easily come down and come up. So these are steps. So these steps is called benching in safety. So this is a benching excavation and this is a trench excavation. Another type of excavation, or you can say that it is basically a support, or to avoid some hazard or dangerous situation, we do shoring. What is shoring? A structure that supports the side of an excavation and protects against cave-ins and protect implies. The structure is made from metallic, hydraulic, mechanical, or timber that support the side of the cave-in. Shoring is a support. It may be made from metal, hydraulic, mechanical, or timber, wood. Why we made it? We made it in order to protect against the cave-ins and protect implies. We made shoring because of the reason that the cave-ins may not fall down or the excavation may not break. We made shoring because of the reason in order to protect the worker or make the sides of the excavation hold or make it not fall down on the worker. So in order to protect the worker, we surround the area of the excavation under it with shoring. How? Let's see in the picture. As you can see that this is an excavation. Suppose they are making a trench, so you can see that these rods are metal rods and they are placed inside it because of the reason so that these edges of the excavation may not break and it may not fall down on the worker working under this excavation. So it's called shoring. You should make clear your concept that this is a trench and the roads, these are the roads, metal roads. They are placed here to support these sides of the excavation. These sides has been supported because it may break down. So this side soil may break down and fall on the worker. So this is called shoring. Next one is sloping, a technique that employs a specific angle of incline on the side of the excavation. The angle varies based on the assessment of impacting factors such as soil type and environmental condition. Sloping protect implies from caves by doing excavation in a way that the side of the excavation is made inclined and away from excavation. Sloping is also, we can say that, a shoring type, but this time it is made in an inclined position. Why it is made? So sloping is made in order to protect implies from cave-ins. In that case, we also do not want that the edges of the excavation may break down and fall on the worker. So in that way, by doing excavation in the way that the sides of the excavation is made inclined and away from the excavation. So when it is made inclined, it will not fall down on the worker. Let us see in the picture. It would be in this kind of sloping, as you can see that in this kind of sloping. And if the worker is working here, so the soil may not break and fall down on him because it is made in the sloping position. It is also a kind of shoring, but this time it is made inclined so that the soil may not fall down from it. In our previous slides, in our benching case, if we remove these steps from this excavation and make it plain, so it would be sloping. You can see that this is made inclined. From this excavation it is made inclined. So if we made it flat and remove these benching or steps, so this would be sloping because it is inclined. Now what is the evaluation planning of site? What should we have to make sure before the start of the excavation? First we have to evaluate the condition of the soil, that what type of soil it is. There are certain type of soils which do not break down that much easily. Some soils may break down easily. So there are specific workers or people in the safety who do this kind of evaluation. Construct the protective systems. There may be protective systems required. It may be a different kind of PPEs requirement, some procedures, some policies. So all of these should be make sure. Must have to test for low oxygen, hazardous fumes, and toxic gases. Low oxygen is dangerous. Hazardous fumes may be dangerous for the worker. Toxic gases may be inhaled. So all of these things should be checked before start of the excavation, and it's done through specific electrical devices by specific people in safety work. Make sure safe in and safe out access to the worker. The access and the egress, or the coming in and coming out from the excavation, should be made easy, and the worker should be able to come in and come out. So these are some of the planning or precautions which we have to take before start of the excavation. I hope guys that you like it. Please subscribe my channel for more videos, and if you have any question then ask me in the comment. Thanks and bye.